Hey y'all, Silly Belly here. This is, hey, my number 2 video of over 60 swolte, getting swolte. And I'm calling it the Instinctive, Billy Badass Instinctive Training videos because I've looked on the internet. There's a whole lot of info. It really looks like it's mainly geared towards, guys, a little bit younger than me, 60 or a lot younger. It is the basic tenets of exercise and lifting, which is the protocol that speaks to the fact, the evolutionary thing where you break muscle down and your sympathetic nervous system thinks you're chasing a mastodon, so it's going to grow it back. A little does it really know you got plenty of food in the fridge, but it's a physiological thing, quite obviously, and we know how it works. You break microfibers, you tear them down, you bodybuild, you lift weights, they grow back bigger. So I'm not going to insult your intelligence and like a lot of these videos, the people like act like that you just fell off the damn turnip truck and well, here's what you do. It's called resistance training, all this crap, and especially for the older guys, they're treating them like little, I don't know, biscuit weasels. If you're 60, you know this stuff, and even if you weren't involved or into it, you already know it, because you got some wisdom at 60. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about being able to work around which may very well be stopping guys. I have a rebuilt shoulder, diabetes, 10-hour spinal fusion. I skipped out on a 7-hour where you want to fuse the remaining 4 of my vertebrae. Hernias, diabetes, metabolic syndrome, other problems, arthritis, liver, other problems from misadventure like addictions and whatnot that we've all had. That's what I'm talking about is reality. So this is geared towards the cats, not the video I just watched where the guy's going, I'm going to show you how to do skull crushers, and he's laying on the carpet. And, men, be careful with this because the lactic acid's going to build up. He's holding this little weight. I'm like, well, you treating these guys like, listen, my thing is get to it, get to the point. What is the reality of being 60? All kinds of realities, and number one is all these little cables and pulleys that make you go that's what they are, literally, cables and pulleys. Because I snapped my supraspinatus and they had to sew it back on. They reattached this bicep right here. You see that scar? I could go on and on. So first and foremost, you know what I'm talking about, old guys, is the tendons and whatnot. They take priority, they take precedence. So for those guys on the net that were saying, no, you old guys can't do a lot of volume because you're old. You can't. Volume means a lot of time in the gym. Traditional Arnold Schwarzenegger stuff was lots of time in the gym. Dorian Yates, the Mike Messer, the high intensity stuff kind of was a departure from that to where shorter amount of time in the gym with insane intensity. Well, there's a way to work all of that into the idea of old guys building muscle. And you don't have to have that goal of building muscle. But what I want to say about instinctive is every single thing I do is instinctive. And to start with, let's just take something to have an example. Shoulders, I usually do shoulders and biceps together. I'll switch that around, but I haven't gotten to the point yet where I need to start tricking my body. I'm still growing plenty easy with just fairly basic approach to this whole thing. Shoulders. So when I get down on the military press, which is this, where you're moving your arms back and forth like that, I quit doing it with 2 arms and started doing it with 1 arm, where I just kick myself a little sideways on the bench. And I just start, and you should too, unless you're really quite advanced, with light weight or no weight. And just feel like, how does it feel? And it should feel kind of like awkward yet good. It should feel like, yeah, I do need exercise. Oh yeah, it is kind of stiff. Oh yeah, I am old. Just start doing it. Start getting used to a movement, and a few weeks, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 shoulder workouts later, it will feel really good and really natural if you're not injuring yourself and if you're not too injured prior. So, what's the instinctive part of that? My instinct is this is a dogma. This is a dogma. This movement where you're doing the military press, and I can argue out in nature, uh, what cavemen people did that chasing mastodons anyway. So your body just all it knows is you're moving the three heads of that muscle. That's what we're talking about, targeting that muscle. So I'll do one. I'll isolate one shoulder at a time, and I'll kick my body sideways, get all kind of goofy looking, but it feels good. And all I gotta say, if I'm gonna act like a know-it-all, is for me, just get it so you're kind of balancing it, and it feels a little bit natural. And be careful. Start like that. So that's an example of instinctive training for an older guy. Is I think when you got 2 points of concentration, you're at risk of damaging those tendons. I think you can focus a little better because it's a very complex joint, very complex shoulder, incredibly complex. Excuse me, I got a burp. Design there. So something you really, and face it, all roads lead to the shoulders. You're gonna work your chest. You need your arms to move. You want to that's where your freaking arms are hooked onto your body. It's your shoulders. So you gotta be careful with them. Instinctive training. So shoulders, I will do that, and biceps a little less of a conversation there because this is primarily how your arm moves when you're using your bicep. You can try to tweak it and get it to do goofy, but it's basically a contraction. You got 2 parts of the bicep. So that one's not so difficult, and certainly do curls with 2 arms. I'm not advocating you have to do isolate each muscle, but I do. I'll do. I don't have the fundamental energy I used to have, so standing curls with a straight bar, man, okay if you're in shape, and maybe if you want to build some cardio and some anaerobic and aerobic combo, yeah, straight bar curls, get down with your bad self. But concentration curls, it's a 1 arm thing. You see me on a preacher bench, you can do whatever. Just you know what to do. You're not stupid. So let's talk about intensity. That intensity conversation. Like the last video I watched, the guy was, "Be careful, gentlemen. Be careful. Don't push yourself because you're an old fart. Don't push yourself." I'm like, really? You think you're going to grow muscle if that's what you're trying to do by following that guy? No, you might have to push yourself a little harder in certain departments. And the one department is the pain department. If you're older, to get all that old cheesy ass dynamo dynamic to happen with all the chemical happenstance and ATP firing and all this, you might have to tell it, look, you're not quitting on me. You're not tiring out just because you're in your 60s. So here's my point. Instinctive intensity with me, I'm warmed up enough. I've been doing this a couple of weeks now. I've done it all my life on and off. With me, I will take each set till failure. And that's a lot of pain, but I kind of like it. Not really, but I kind of do. So for the shoulders, I'm watching TV. I got the groove going. I just settle into a groove. It might take a long time, and here comes that pain, and it starts to now it's got your attention. Now you're in the realm that may actually grow some damn muscle on your old ass. So here's my point: is the first working set, or that I think I'm bodybuilding with, I'll take it close to true failure. So what is true? If I held a shotgun on you, how many more could you really do? So let's talk about failure. Failure is when you're like, oh, son of a, that's sickening. You throw the weight down. True failure is where you really are wondering if everything's just going to come apart. So I will take it close to that, but not with the heavier weights. It's a mid weight for your ability. And I'll take each set to failure because I know, being a little older, if you don't, you're not going to grow. You're not going to grow any muscle unless you take the basic tenets of bodybuilding and apply it to that. So instinct just simply means paying attention to yourself and not necessarily adhering to any one dogma. You get all the information, pull it in front of you, continue the study, nutrition and bodybuilding, and you apply it to you. So I'm not going to give you a program. Just the program is you. Instinctive. My advice, you want to get swolte and being older, take your sets to failure without being ridiculous and throwing weight and getting too crazy and pretending you're 25 and taking too much caffeine, pre-workout stuff, and don't fool yourself in that department. Go slower. You can stay in that pain zone for real, and you'll probably be able to make really decent gains if that's what you want to do. Even if you don't want to grow muscle and you just want to be in shape and feel good and have a great quality of life, get out of bed easier. I got some stuff for you. So this is number 2. Actually, this is the 3rd video, but we'll call it 2 of the working videos for the Instinctive Swolte guy over 60. The next video, I will delve a little bit more into the physiology of the older body and how we should apply what's in our world to make it work. Billy over now.